Absolutely free. 6 months and get 2 weeks absolutely free. 1 year and get 3 weeks absolutely free. To sign up, visit epaper.nationmedia.com or email subscription@ke.nationmedia.com. Offer valid till 28th February 2021.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Cabling tips. Use cables from a reputable manufacturer made from 99.99% pure copper and the best insulation. Use a certified installer. Scratch to verify and authenticate your cables. We manufacture an extensive range of power cables for applications in domestic and industrial wiring. Our work speaks for itself. Get in touch. Let's talk cables. Kumbuka Wire C Wire. East African Cables. Connecting lives.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates, because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
This is NTV.
My name is Olive Burrows, and I certainly hope your Saturday afternoon is going on well. We have Fatma Bugu in Mombasa, and that is where we start as the Deputy President William Ruto continues his tour of the coast and is expected in Jomvu and Changamwe this afternoon, where he'll meet with border operators. As I mentioned, Fatma Bugu is on his trail and now joins us. Fatma, what is the overriding sentiment?
We are here at Black Devils ground in Jomvu constituency, where the Deputy President William Ruto is expected to be here anytime from now. As you can see, the preparations to welcome him are still ongoing, and he is just around here. And also, he has been visiting several counties, including Kwale County, Mombasa County, and Kilifi County. And earlier today, he was at Kinango constituency, where he was inspecting several projects there, including giving a school bus to Chandava Boys Secondary School. And as you can see, people are just excited to welcome the Deputy President here, and he is expected to talk about economic empowerment, especially for the border operators here in Jomvu constituency. And also after this, he will be heading to Nyaliwad, where he will be officiating the opening of Kwabulo Primary and Secondary School, also meeting border operators in Freya Town area Also, as you know, that his visit will come to an end today after opening the Kwabulo Primary and Secondary School. He has been inspecting several projects here in Mombasa County, especially for the youth, to empower youth economically, especially now where many have been affected by corona pandemic. And for the past 2 days also, he has been meeting the 2017 election losers in Mount Kenya, where especially the areas constituency whom the MPs have been supporting the the President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta. We will be updating you on what is happening here as we expect him to arrive anytime from now. Back to you.
Thank you, Fatma. Looks like it'll be a busy afternoon for Fatma. Fatma, we thank you for that update and we look forward for your reports at 7 and at 9 p.m. Deputy President William Ruto expected in Jomvu there. Herders in Kajiado County are desperately seeking ways to save their livestock as drought begins to bite. Now, in most parts of the county, pasture is long gone, resulting in livestock relocation to neighboring counties. The desperate herders are now trying to offload the animals in markets, but the shrinking number of buyers is leaving many animals unsold. COVID-19 restrictions too have made the situation worse, pushing livestock prices down by 30%. The herders now want the county government to reinstate Monday market to give the herders an extra chance to sell within the week. Initially, the market used to be held on Mondays and Fridays before Monday was scrapped under the COVID containment measures.
Tunataka kulilia serikali yetu waweze kutafuta mbinu mwafaka ya kusaidia wananchi wa Kajiado, wananchi wa Bisil, tupate namna ya kusaidika na KMC.
Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa has defended the move by the President, Uhuru Kenyatta, to give members of county assemblies car grants, saying that it will enable MCAs access every corner of their wards and the people to deliver services. Wamalwa has urged MCAs to pass the Building Bridges Initiative Constitutional Amendment Bill of 2020. The Cabinet Secretary says that the BBI proposal to create the Ward Development Fund will spur socio-economic development in the units. At the same time, the Meru Governor, Kiraitu Murungi, has accused leaders of opposing BBI of using propaganda that has made some people turn against the BBI.
There have been a lot of lies and propaganda about BBI, and that is why people have been turned against it. BBI is good for us. It will bring more resources to our county.
Tutaingiza kwa kikatiba kutosanisha mambo ikiwapo ni one man, one vote, one shilling. Mambo ya equity ndio tulingane pamoja.
Tuweze kuunga BBI mkono, tuimarishe ugatuzi Kenya, tulete maendeleo kwa kila sehemu ya taifa letu. Kuna shida gani huyu MCA wenu pia apewe milioni 2 apate gari ili awahudumie zaidi? Kuna shida hapo kweli? Yeye ni mheshimiwa vile Lochax ni mheshimiwa. So tunataka pia huyu mheshimiwa wenu ili apeane huduma bora zaidi. Tukiongeza pesa kuja kwa ward, you must be accessible to every corner of this ward and to your people. Hiyo ndio maana.
What say you on the car grants? A bribe or a bribe, an inducement or necessary? Well, do tweet us your thoughts on @NTV Kenya. Mine is @O_Burrows. Now, a section of leaders along the West Pokot and Turkana border have called on residents to enroll their children in schools and embrace development as a tool to end cattle rustling and extreme violence in the region. The return of peace along the border has seen the renovation of Moi Masol Primary School and the reconstruction of other schools that had been vandalized following perennial cattle rustling incidents. Residents who had fled the area have returned. The national government has promised to promote education in the region and introduce boarding schools to ensure sustainability of schooling in the area.
Sisi na majirani yetu hapa Turkana tulikuwa hatupatani. Lakini sasa wakati mheshimiwa alikuja akashikana na viongozi kuanzia county hapa sub county DCC wakakuja wakaongelesha communities na watu wakaimarika na mambo ya amani.
Lakini kwa sababu ya changamoto ya ukosefu wa usalama, hii area imebaki nyuma sana kwa miaka mingi. Hii shule ilijengwa na Moi, watu wakahama kutoka hapa kwa sababu ya ukosefu wa usalama. Wajambazi wakaingilia wakang'oa mabati kwa sababu ilikuwa hakuna mtu aliye. Sasa wewe sasa umekuja kutusaidia tena kurejesha mali ilikuwa. Tunataka kusema asante.
Bila amani hatuwezi kuwa na maendeleo. Na vile vile bila maendeleo hatuwezi kuwa na nini? Na amani. Na hiyo ndio sababu unaona maendeleo yakikosekana, watu wanaendelea na practices kama zile tumekuwa nazo za cattle rustling. But development is a new tool to ensure that we end cattle rustling, we end extreme violence, and we are able to integrate these communities together.
Staying with matters school infrastructure, and hundreds of learners, some of them with disabilities, will now benefit from an improved learning environment courtesy of a project that is upgrading school infrastructure in Machakos County. The initiative aims to improve learning infrastructure, water, sanitation and hygiene for 225 hearing-impaired children at the Machakos School for the Deaf and 400 early childhood development learners at Chumbe Primary School. It will also involve the construction of latrines, renovation of bathrooms and installation of a borehole water plumbing system. Machakos School for the Deaf is the only school in the county catering to children with hearing impairments. The Kenya Basic Education Act recommends that the school environment and facilities should accommodate the various categories of learners with special needs. This is, however, a challenge due to the inadequate infrastructure.
COVID-19 actually raised the need for safe and resilient communities, including schools. And at Habitat for Humanity Kenya, we are glad to contribute towards meeting this need in Machakos County.
As a responsible business, LG believes in increasing social value by investing in underprivileged communities. This project and Machakos School for the Deaf and the Kyumbi Primary School are important to us, as they are aligned with the International Sustainable Development Goal #4 on promoting inclusive and equitable education.
In honor of World Cancer Day, several non-profit organizations and the Kenyatta National Hospital joined to help make a Cancer Patients Day, adorning them with wigs and a free makeover. NGOs donated wigs, and Symbol of Hope Warriors helped bring together cancer patients going through treatment and unable to access or obtain a wig. The World Health Organization says Kenya reports an average of 41,000 new cancer cases every year.
Leo tunasikia tumefurahi na tunasikia tuko na moyo juu tumekuwa smart, tumekuwa makeup pia nayo tumefurahia, na tunashukuru Mungu na tunawazidishia baraka za Mungu wazidi kusaidia patient wengine juu sio sisi peke yetu, tuko wengi.
It's good to have a choice. You know, there are those who are comfortable not having a wig, but then for those who need some help, we can give them that to support them. So we responded to that. I just kind of reached out to a few of my friends, and we were able to support a few number of women, 50 women. And then another appeal came through And we met one beautiful lady called Millicent Kagonga. So Millicent attended one of our makeovers, and after that she went on to establish her own organization, Symbol of Hope Warriors. So she reached out to me and she's like, Grace, you know, we have more women. We are growing as an organization and they need wigs. So I thought, okay, let's respond to that.
I met Donetta Wig in 2018. I was very down, and I was thinking a lot of things in my mind, because when I got the message that I have cancer, I wanted to kill myself. So when I met Donetta Wig, I found I met with the women talking about great things, big miracles. Then they gave me a makeup. I looked very beautiful. I loved it. They gave me a wig. I went home thinking a lot.
A beautiful gesture for such beautiful women. Now, 4 lucky people have won the Westgate Christmas promotion that will see them walk away with several luxury prizes. And let's take a look at what they are. That is an all-expenses-paid trip to the Voi Wildlife Lodge, 2 sets of luxury watches from the Diamond Watch Company, a home makeover by Hotpoint, and shopping vouchers worth 500,000 shillings. Dang it, I wish NMG staffers could participate. The promotion, partly sponsored by the Nation Media Group, ran from November 2020 to January 31st, with contestants entering after buying goods worth 10,000 shillings or more. Witnessed by the Betting Licensing Board and other sponsors, including NMG, contestants' numbers were put into a computerized system that randomly selects the winners. The winners will be receiving their gifts next Saturday at the Westgate Mall. Looks like I might just have to pass through the Westgate Mall next Saturday. The ongoing school unrest in the country has continued to elicit reactions, even as more schools continue to experience arson attacks, rendering the affected schools in losses and interrupting learning. Now, leaders in Baringo County have raised concern over the increased number of schools in the county which have suffered arson attacks and are now calling for a holistic approach by parents, teachers and the community in dealing with the matter. Other leaders in the county are now calling for the return of corporal punishment in schools.
Mtu yeyote akienda kwenye petrol station kwa sasa na mtungi wa kuchota mafuta, na especially usiku, mtu anakuja usiku wa manane na anapewa mafuta petroli, yule anamuuzia anadhani anapeleka wapi. Imekuwa ni aibu, ni hasara na ni uchungu sisi kwetu wazazi na viongozi wa Baringo County. Ile imenikera zaidi ni ya Baringo South. Baringo South tunajua tumekuwa tukilia kama viongozi, shule zote, shule 10 na kitu zimebebwa na maji Lake Baringo. Imekuwa sasa wakati watoto wanatafutiwa kila namna na wahisani na serikali wapewe mahali pa kusomea. Zile hema wamepewa, wamejengewa na wahisani, bado wanakuja wakachoma. Sidhani watu kama hao, sijui kama wako na utu, kuna dawa wanatumia, ama tunasema kwa sisi ambao tunaamini kwamba kuna Mungu na shetani, ni shetani imewaingilia.
My director CK says, watandikwe, but I am of a different mind. I think it's a different generation and time has changed. In a bit, and the intermittent conflicts that have been witnessed between communities and clans in Marsabit County over the years, professionals and peace committees, I beg your pardon, want the National Cohesion and Integration Commission to set up an office in the region in order to bring to a halt the ongoing hostilities and find lasting peace in the county.
Over the past 2 weeks, cases of cattle rustling have been reported in various parts of Marsabit County, with at least 5 people losing their lives and 4 others sustaining injuries during the same period. The areas affected by the recent wave of raids include Akabariche in the outskirts of Marsabit town, where at least 300 goats were stolen, Elbor in Sololo sub-county, where 3 people were killed, 4 injured, and at least 400 goats were stolen, and Turbi area, where attackers drove away over 300 goats. An attack at Funangumbi village last week saw 2 people killed and over 300 heads of cattle stolen. Within the same period, in areas of Gargasa, Manyata, Jilo, Koma, and Mata-Arba villages, a combined sum of 360 cows were also stolen. The continued conflict in Marsabit County is a matter of great concern, with professionals and peace committee members warning that if not addressed soon, the security situation could worsen as the 2022 electoral period draws closer.
Wizi ya mifugo zamani inaendelea na inaisha. Hii haiishi sasa. Inafanya hata watu wakae na uadui kwa muda mrefu. Hii ni imeletwa na siasa.
Jambo moja kitendeka, wengine wanaretaliate. Ingine ikifanyika, ingine wanaretaliate. So, ikiwa retaliation, how can we expect peace to come? So, we must break this barrier of continuous retaliation.
The Peace Crusaders took issue with the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, for not doing enough to deter the ongoing ethnic animosity.
We have no other option kama hakuna peace Marsabit. Kwa hivyo tumesema kwa kauli moja, enough is enough. We have shed enough blood. We've lost enough property. Tunarudi ma villages kuleta wazee kutoka huko. Watu wa peace committees pamoja na ma chiefs pamoja na watu wa national government, tunaanzia huko kwa mashinani. Awareness tuna create kutoka huko.
The leaders call for cooperation between members of the public, the peace committees and government agencies in order to ensure that the worrying recent wave of cattle rustling incidents and killings is arrested soonest possible.
Time for us to take a break. We'll be back shortly. Na, 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 na.
When I open my eyes, I see beauty you can't believe. Oh, mama, no place I'd rather be. Kama si Kenya, duniani hamna kama we, nothing better. Siku napendeza. Let the sunshine over you, my love. Your sounds heal my soul. Nothing better. Kenya unapendeza. Uye, unabile wanashingo. Inani tosha, inani tosha, inani tosha Kenya. Inani tosha, inani tosha, inani tosha Kenya. Inani tosha Kenya.
Cabling tips. Use cables from a reputable manufacturer made from 99.99% pure copper and the best insulation. Use a certified installer. Scratch to verify and authenticate your cables. We manufacture an extensive range of power cables for applications in domestic and industrial wiring. Our work speaks for itself. Get in touch. Let's talk cables. Kumbuka Wire C Wire. East African Cables. Connecting lives.
Lovers are booking their tables at GMC Place Kitengela. Yes, it's Valentine's, and as is custom, love is blossoming at the heart of GMC. Make that proposal, rekindle your romance, or treat your special someone. Let GMC Place Kitengela be your choice to bloom in love. With a few slots available, call us today on 0701 560 560.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Welcome
Welcome to Insignia Service Center, a state-of-the-art service center that offers diagnostics, repairs, wheel balancing and alignment, and a fully fledged high-quality paint booth. Specializing in 7 brands, we are a 360-degree customer value chain that promises quality service, competent personnel, pricing transparency, and best price guarantee. Bring your car over today for a free courtesy check. We are located at Karen Road, Kabwagi area. Insignia Group, consistent excellence.
Thank you for staying with us on NTV at 1. Let's get a dose of the international news now. And the World Health Organization chief on Friday called on vaccine makers to share technologies to help boost production, warning that without more access to the COVID-19 jabs, progress against the pandemic could be lost. Tedros Adhanom told reporters the number of COVID-19 vaccines administered had now overtaken the well over 100 million reported infections around the world. While this was good news, he expressed concern that more than 3/4 of the vaccines had been administered in just 10 wealthy countries.
Globally, the number of vaccinations has now overtaken the number of reported infections. In one sense, that's good news and a remarkable achievement in such a short time frame. But more than 3/4 of those vaccinations are in just 10 countries that account for almost 60% of global GDP. We need countries to share doses once they have finished vaccinating health workers and older people. But we also need a massive scale-up in production. Unless we suppress the virus everywhere, we could end up back at square one.
Libyan delegates at UN-led talks outside Geneva on Monday made the surprise choice of Abdul Hamid Deiba as Prime Minister of a transitional unity government to take the war-ravaged country through to elections in December. He was chosen along with a 3-member presidency council to head a unity administration and steer the North African state towards the ballot box on December 24th. Deiba, a Canadian-trained engineer from the city of Misrata and founder of the Libya of the Future movement, previously led the Libyan Investment and Development Company under dictator Muammar Gaddafi. The vote is part of a complex UN-led process aiming to build on a fragile ceasefire and end more than a decade of conflict. Oil-rich Libya has been torn by civil war since a NATO-backed uprising led to the toppling and killing of Gaddafi in 2011. Acting UN envoy Stephanie Williams, who facilitated the week-long talks outside Geneva, called it a historic moment. Myanmar saw its largest anti-coup protests yet on Saturday, with young demonstrators spilling onto the streets to denounce the country's new military regime, despite a nationwide internet blackout aimed at stifling a growing chorus of popular dissent. As many as 1,000 demonstrators marched on a road near Yangon University, most holding up the 3-finger salute that has come to symbolize resistance to the army takeover. A large police contingent blocked nearby roads with 2 water cannon trucks parked at the scene. The march came as Myanmar was plunged into its 2nd nationwide internet blackout this week, similar in magnitude to an earlier shutdown that coincided with the arrest of Sun Kyi and other senior leaders on Monday. Those dawn raids brought a sudden halt to Myanmar's brief 10-year experiment with democracy and catalyzed an outpouring of fury that has migrated from social media to the streets. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Friday called the International Criminal Court a political body after it said it had jurisdiction over the situation in the occupied Palestinian territories. The tribunal has once again proved that it is a political body and not a judicial institution, and that's what Netanyahu had to say verbatim in a statement, adding that the decision undermined the, and I quote, right of democracies to defend themselves against terrorism. The ICC's ruling Friday paves the way for the tribunal's prosecutor to potentially open a war crimes investigation. Palestine is a state party to the court set up in 2002 to try the world's worst crimes, but Israel is not. Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda had asked the court for its legal opinion on whether its reach extended to areas occupied by Israel after announcing in December of 2019 that she wanted to start a full probe. The ICC said in a statement it had, and I quote again, decided by majority that the court's territorial jurisdiction in the situation in Palestine, a state party to the ICC Rome Statute, extends to the territories occupied by Israel since 1967, namely Gaza and the West Bank, including East Jerusalem. Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports, and still on the local top flight, and no fans will be allowed to attend Sunday's Football Kenya Federation Premier League match between Gor Mahia and FC Leopards. What a shame. FC Leopards chairman Dan Shikanda and Gor Mahia Secretary General Sam Ochola were speaking at a joint press conference held at the match's venue and urged fans of the two most popular clubs in the country to stay home in line with COVID-19 regulations. Record League champions Kogalo are currently 6th on the log with 15 points from 8 games, while Ingwe are 4th with 18 points from the same number of matches. Who will you be rooting for, Ingwe or Kogalo? The National Basketball League is set to kick off on the 13th of February with a record 30 fixtures. Defending men's champions Ulinzi Warriors and women's champions Equity Bank will be in action on the opening weekend. Warriors will face off with league returnees University of Nairobi Terrorists on the opening day at the Nyayo National Stadium Gymnasium, while Equity Bank will have a date with United States International University, USIU, a day later in the same venue. A record 30 games are lined up on the first weekend, with former champions KPA men's and women's sides hosting Kenyatta University teams Orange and Pirates in Mombasa. I should have said Oryx. And I have no question as to who Zainab Wandati will be supporting. Must be. All right, Manchester United were